Okay, we are all set to begin. So I'm going to go ahead and share the agenda, and then Chair, you are welcome to start at any point.
All right, I will. Thank you. This is Diane Nance. I'm chair of the commission. I would like the commissioners to introduce themselves, if you would, please, starting with Chip Santer. Can you unmute yourself and your name, please? Chip? Everybody hear me?
I just unmuted him.
Oh, okay. Chip, introduce yourself.
The mute button was covered by the agenda. I couldn't find it. Chip Santer.
All right. And then everybody else, please just state your name and who you are.
Good afternoon. I'm Mary Gray.
Thank you.
Hello, this is Matthew Moore.
Hi, this is Eliza. Hi, this is Eliza Ho.
Hi, everyone. This is Marijn van der Heijden.
Hi, everyone. This is Lisa McClimate.
Thank you. Thank you and welcome to this special hearing. I would like staff to introduce themselves to be sworn in.
Lori Budrow, Columbus Planning Division.
Jackie Yeoman,
The
Columbus
Art
Planning
Commission.
Division. Oh, I'm sorry, Lori.
That's okay.
Jackie Yeoman, Columbus Planning Division.
Okay.
Archer Willis, Columbus Planning.
You'll swear us in, Diane?
That's it? Yeah. So I'm going to swear you in now, please. Do you swear or affirm that you will speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes. Lori Budrow.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much.
Really quick, this is Jackie. I'm sorry. It looks like we don't have video for Eliza.
Oops.
Am I missing it? I'm trying to see.
She was here just a minute ago.
Can you see me now?
It's under Tim Lai.
Oh,
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, I was just looking at all the names and I was not paying attention.
oh, sorry.
Lori, I'd like you to announce the first application, the only application.
Yes, thank you. The matter before the commission is application 200601, and the applicant is the Department of Finance. And at the request of the mayor, this application is before us to remove the Christopher Columbus statue on the South Plaza of City Hall. The artist is Eduardo Alfieri. It was placed there in 1955, dedicated in 1955, as a sister city gift to the citizens of Columbus from the people of Genoa, Italy. With that, we have at least Kathy Owens here and possibly Barry Manilow as Barry Bryant to speak on behalf of the application. And Jackie, could you pull up the actual application, please?
And if Kathy and Barry, if you are there, I would like to swear you in, but I have to have Barry's visuals.
Barry says that he's having difficulty. He's using his cell phone.
So Kathy, could you represent the application? I know a little bit of the information that
Sure.
would be shared, but could you?
Let's wing it. Let's go for it.
Okay, thank you, Kathy. I have to swear you in. Do you swear or affirm that you will speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Please.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Please go ahead and present the application.
Um, well, I am Kathy Owens. I am one of the deputy directors in the Department of Finance and Management. I actually oversee the asset management section. I am here on behalf of Mayor Ginther and Director Joe Lombardi. Hopefully, Barry will be joining us. Barry Bryant is a licensed PE, and Barry is the manager of the construction management section. And we are here asking on behalf of the mayor for your support in his request to remove the Christopher Columbus statue over, I don't know, at least over the last week. We have been working diligently with various contractors. One would be McKay Lodge, I believe is the correct name, for their expertise. And then the other one would be Smoot Construction, which is a minority-owned construction firm here in the city. Smoot would be responsible, if approved, for the removal and the transporting and to storage and unloading it. The actual Christopher Columbus statue would actually be housed in the city-owned warehouse that is on the east side. I was going to kick it off to Barry to explain the technical side. I don't know. Do you have any other questions or? He's texting.
May I join the conversation?
Yes, please.
Okay. We don't have, I don't think, a date certain for this yet, but it will be soon, correct, Kathy?
That is correct. We do not have an actual contract signed yet because we were waiting for the commission to cast their vote. And then after that, we would actually enter into contract. I can tell you that we have had numerous conversations every day with McKay and with Smoot, and we would like to move for the safety of everyone, for the safety of Christopher Columbus, for the safety of citizens, that could be around the statue. We would like to move quickly.
And you explained that Smoot was involved with some museum activities, Kathy. Could you elaborate on that?
Yes, Smoot Construction Company was one of the subs on the Smithsonian African American Museum in DC, and they served as a very primary role with that project.
Okay. I'd like to thank you on behalf of myself and the commission for seeking out McKay Lodge. The commission is very familiar with McKay Lodge. They have restored the sculpture. I believe they did that back in 2008, 2009, did a full restoration, and they've been doing periodic treatments on the sculpture since that time. So they're very familiar with it, and they're held in very high esteem.
Yes. We've gotten great feedback from them. I know that they've been out numerous times, looking at the statue and assessing the statue, and working hand in hand with Smoot Construction to make sure that the right materials are going to be used, the right packaging materials, storing materials are going to be used. They've been wonderful, and they have too been very busy. They're probably the number one firm sought after, in the removal of lots of statues throughout the U.S. over the last few weeks.
I think if it could be opened up to commissioners perhaps at this point for any questions.
Shall I read the motion to be considered?
Please.
The motion is to support the resolve of the mayor to have the Christopher Columbus sculpture removed from its current location and to recommend an experienced art handler to supervise removal and storage of the piece in an indoor location until its disposition is determined. Would a commissioner move that? And second?
I'll move that, Diane.
Chip, thank you. Second?
I will second. Mary Gray.
I will open it up for discussion or any other questions that you have for Ms. Owens. Are there questions by the commission?
This is
I'm
Eliza.
sorry. I'm sorry. I wanted to add something that I think is very important for you to know that I looked at my notes. The statue will be insured. So if anything happens to it, if it's damaged or cracked and the dollar amount was given to us by McKay. So I'm sorry, I wanted to let you know that.
Eliza?
Yes, this is Eliza Ho. It's not so much a question, but I think my comment is that I appreciate the city has thought through the removal process and being transparent about that, and even thought about protection of the statue. And I think it's a very respectful way to remove the statue. And you mentioned that there's no set days to remove it. Do we at least know a timeline that what we are looking at?
Yes, based on getting the approval from the commission, we didn't want to assume anything or act without that. But we will be in contact with them, probably even today, and we would hope, that it's something that could be done in the next few days.
Will the removal plan be announced publicly? Like a press release or something?
I actually don't know, but I will speak with the mayor's office and the mayor's press secretary, and I will, get their direction and definitely let the commission know. I would think so, but I actually didn't ask that question. I'm sorry.
All right, thank you.
I think we might have Barry if his connection comes through. Barry, when you're established, we'll swear you in so that you can speak if that works. I would like to ask a question. So when this piece is removed, it was slated to have, am I muted? No. It was slated to have some conservation next year. Will it be conserved while it is in storage?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And you'll come back to us when that contract is finished.
Yes.
Chair, this is Jackie Yeoman. If I may interrupt for a second, I saw Barry's video come on for a second. I think he was trying to test it out, but it's gone again. So I don't know if we want to give a second to see if Barry's there and if his video's working at this point.
I'm happy to do that while you're speaking. Okay.
Barry, can you hear us? Are you able to let us know you're there?
Barry's gonna owe me lunch.
Okay, well, never mind. We'll keep going. I saw him for a second. I saw a hand at least. And so I thought maybe there was potential. And so I apologize for the interruption.
All right, thank you, Jackie. Other commissioners, questions or comments, please?
Hi, this is Matthew Moore, and I appreciate the conservation efforts, but on the other hand, will there be any trace of this sculpture left on site? And will there be any mechanism to have it back at any time? Are we doing the job permanently, or is this in any way temporary?
I think, based on Mayor Ginther's communication to the Art Commission and his press release, I think that He is giving the Art Commission the charge to work with the community to see how we should move forward. And I don't know what move forward is. If move forward is finding something else to go in place of Christopher, or you know, finding the appropriate place for Christopher to be. But that is something that he very much wants you guys to spearhead, and that he wants community input.
Okay, but again, is everything, even the base, going to be removed?
I think everything is going to be removed. I'm sorry, but I don't know how it's attached or how it's bolted. Barry was my technical sidekick, and I was hoping to have him for that answer. But whatever we can do that's going to ensure well-being for the statue. We don't want it damaged. We don't even want it scratched. We don't want, we want it to be exactly the way it is in storage. So once again, I don't know how it's bolted, but I'm pretty sure removing everything, and that, I guess I would call it the pedestal, I don't know what you would call it. And then that bronze dedication plaque that's in front of it.
Okay, thank you so much.
Mhm.
May I add something?
Yes, please.
The piece is technically in the city's collection. It hasn't been decommissioned. It's just being removed. So it would be up to the commission at some later date, once we know more, to look at this and either recommend decommissioning the piece to another entity or site, or having it remain in storage. But at this point, it is still part of the city's collection.
May I correct you just a moment? It's deaccessioning. We would have the right to deaccession it if there were some problem with it.
Okay.
So yeah, sorry, it's just a nomenclature. And I suspect that when we hear back from the city, then we will know condition and storage, etc.
Yes.
Thanks. Can Barry be
Can I
unmuted?
interrupt? Can anybody hear me?
That's Barry.
Speak, please. I have to swear you in. Are you able to listen to me and get sworn in? Barry? Whenever you're ready, Barry, can you raise your hand or let Jackie know so that I can swear you in and you can speak?
This is Jackie. His video just went out again, unfortunately. I think maybe he's having bandwidth problems. And I think that Barry may also be calling user number 5. I think he may have video under his name, and I think that he may be calling user number 5 as well.
I'm calling right now. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We
Can
can
anybody
hear
hear me?
you.
Yes.
Okay,
And
good.
is
I'm
this,
calling in
is this
on the phone
Barry?
to audio, and I had to flip my computer around for video. If you can see that, is the video working yet?
No. And if that is true, may we listen to Barry?
Yeah, I'll be glad to be sworn in.
Okay.
Wendy, let me see if Wendy is available. Wendy, are you on the call? You're muted right now if you are. I do not believe that Barry is able to give sworn testimony unless his video is on. I don't know if Wendy's listening right now to be able to chime in. Or Mark Travillis, if you want to chime in too.
My understanding was that the safe thing would be that he would not provide testimony without functioning video. And so I think without the video, unless if there was a critical matter that we felt like we needed him to chime in on, probably best to pass.
Well, let me ask this. I think it's really important if the commissioners have any other questions about the removal from the current location and the recommendation of the art handler to remove and store the piece, please bring up those questions now because I'm going to move on to accepting the motion.
You may
Questions?
want,
Yes,
Lisa?
yes. I'm just wondering if there might be a way to do you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm just wondering if we can request a documentation of the removal process, be it like a video, photographs, and some kind of documentation. How the sculpture is being removed, how it is being stored. I'm sure the remover, they probably have some protocol how they handle this kind of situation, but I would like the documentation to be publicly accessible.
I don't think that that would be a problem. That information should be included in our contract.
Okay.
I see.
All right. Then I will ask for the motion. Yeah.
do you want to take any comments from speakers before you make the
I'm
motion?
sorry. I am sorry.
The city attorney also advised that if you take comment from anyone who's not registered, then everyone should be allowed to speak.
Correct.
I don't
Our
think
first,
we have.
well, we start with our speakers who have registered. May I do that? All right, let's start with the first speaker is Racy McGarity. Racy, are you there? Or is it Tracy?
Here, it's Tracy.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Tracy, do you have a video?
No, I do not. I'm
Um,
on my phone.
okay,
Let me see if I can get it to come in. And it's fine if I don't speak officially, but I'm really interested, myself and a group that we want to help in any way we can to find a relocation, because we do hope we can relocate the statue. So I'm probably in phase 2 of this whole process.
All right, Tracy, if you can't have a video, would you please send us an email so that we can understand what you have to say?
Sure.
All right, so because I can't swear you in and let you speak your 3 minutes if you don't have a video.
Yeah, I understand, and that's just fine.
Okay. All right, thank you so much for your generosity. All right, then I'll go to speaker number 2, Molly Weidman. Molly, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you show us your video?
Is it on?
Yes, I'd like to swear you in, please.
Yes.
Do you swear or affirm that you will speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Concerning the statue, I had a lot less to say. Simply, my opinion is it should be moved to the History Museum where everyone can see it.
Did you have any other things that you want to add?
The things that I had to add were more related to what goes in place of the statue. I don't know if right now is an appropriate time for that or later in the meeting is more appropriate.
I can call on you again and you can finish out your 3 minutes at the time. Do you want to do that?
Oh, sure.
Thank you. I'll Jackie possibly mute her and we can move on. Okay, and the third speaker is Londa Brunetto. Londa, are you able to jump jump in there. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay. Do you also have video?
Yes. Can you hear me? Do you hear me?
I see you. I see you now. I'd
Can
like
you
to
hear me as well? Can you hear me as well?
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you.
I can hear you
Hello,
too.
everyone.
I'd like to swear you in, please. Do you swear or affirm that you will speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. My heart is with the unrest of other cultures. As a grandchild of immigrants, how can I not be? At this time, may I say, the Piave Club, the majority of Central Ohio Italian Americans, and many, many Columbusites are not in favor of removing the Christopher Columbus sculpture. This statue started out by being a gift from Genoa, Italy, now sister city to us. It is a symbol of brotherhood and sisterhood. Oddly, it now represents much of what everyone is debating today. And this pivotal statue is currently up for removal, without any dialogue, without any historic education. Have you read the Diary of Columbus, for starts? The Italians and this statue are a testimony to how a prejudiced culture can evolve one's thinking. But this occurred due to the Italian Americans' incredible work ethic, the enormous contributions, and their independent thinking. With the desire to embrace the American ways, they chose not to teach a mother language to their children or grandchildren, all to be better accepted in America. The immigrants' belief was to put aside their Italian heritage, except for the cooking, and became American. They individually remedied the tide of hate which was once directed toward them strongly in Columbus. These individuals erased the initial American prejudice towards the Italians, and the Christopher Columbus statue represents the very thing other peoples are fighting for on this very day. The cause of racism will in no way be improved by removing the statue or the history of a people that came to this country and sacrificed their culture, their heritage, to become American. This is what the statue is. It appears we are so American, we are not even respected as Italians any longer. Genoa, Italy marveled at their brothers and sisters coming to America and wanted to salute them. Christopher's art piece is what they chose, but the message walking through our streets is the message already answered in this statue, and sadly no one is listening or understanding. The Italians have brought a piece of camaraderie to the city, which was lacking earlier in the 1900s. And due to popular myths and rumors, the Italian culture is the one now being dismantled. The bronze sculpture was erected as a gateway between two cities worlds apart that shared a sisterhood. It became a symbol of what the Italians contributed to our city, and it represents home to Columbusites far and near. The thought to erase our culture with another seems out of step with the current climate, and yet that is exactly what is occurring in beloved Columbus, Ohio. Our Italian community would request to be a part of the dialogue and be an integral part of the future placement, if that happens, of the Columbus landmark. We have options to discuss and what could go in its place and for future debate. There should be no rush to remove or rush to replace. There was nothing at City Hall before 1955. Let's let everyone cool down and give way to educated thought before moving further into erasing history. Columbus could be the key to turning the ill feelings around for America. I request we actually publish a history of viewpoints placed next to the sculpture of what the statue represents to men, and push the message of camaraderie, brotherhood, and understanding in a creative way that has not yet been accomplished in our great country. Let Columbus, Ohio be the first to enhance a new direction. Thank you. Is there a way to bring it to a vote? And my grandfather made the bolts of the statue so I can answer some of your questions. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
I understand we have one person who has not registered. How many others who have not registered have asked to speak? Does anyone know?
Can't tell.
Chair, you would be welcome to just allow anyone at this time who wants to speak to unmute, and we could just make note of it if that's okay with you and Lori. And then you could determine if you want to move forward.
I think that's fair. Is that all right with you, commissioners? Any Heads shaking yes or no? Yes. Then I guess the next person is Bill Demora.
Madam Chair, members of the board, can you hear and see me?
Yes, we can. Feel free.
I just really want to take a quick moment thanking you for all the work you do. I'm here as a representative of the Columbus Italian Club and several other Italian clubs around Columbus. And the main concern is that, I mean, I'm not arguing the fact that I think the statue is going to come down, because I'm sure the mayor has made that clear. But we, as a community, involved in any discussion about where the statue will be placed after it's been stored and after it's been cleaned up from the vandalism that occurred to it a couple weeks ago. Our main opposition would be to, if you're going to keep it in storage for the rest of eternity, we would certainly be opposed to that, because we have several venues and several private citizens that will make a home for this, and will open it up to their home, their private property, for anybody in the community to come and view the statue. Several prominent members of the community that are Italian have offered to even pay for its transportation and setup at no cost to the city, should the city decide to involve the community in its placement, instead of having it just left in a warehouse for the next 100 years. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you taking time to speak with us. I appreciate all the speakers. Any others?
Chair, this is Jackie. May I recommend that, I know that Mr. Demora has already spoken, but I may recommend that he be sworn in.
I'm so sorry. I totally forgot that. Mr. Demora, do you swear or affirm that you will speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Or you did?
Yes, ma'am. I do. Yes, I did.
Thank you so much.
Bill, I just want to say hello, Bill. Nice seeing you.
How are you?
All right. If we do not have any other speakers, then let's see. And there is no more discussion. Is there more discussion on behalf of the commissioners? Then I will call the question and call a roll call vote. I thought it might be easier for me to just go down the list, if you don't mind, and you'll need to say your vote. And this is
Chair, this is Jackie Yeoman again. I'm so sorry to keep interrupting. Well, Barry had his hand raised and he was on video, but now we have just lost him again. So as soon as I interrupted you, we lost him. So I think maybe, unfortunately, that won't work out, but he was raising his hand, which is why I interrupted.
Is he there?
He's not there any longer.
Well, I'm here in audio, if you can hear me. And I was just trying to catch an image.
Is that you, Barry?
Yes, I'm speaking. And I just wanted to, if for no other reason than to swear in.
Yes, I'll let me swear you in and you can talk before we lose you again. So do you swear or affirm that you will speak the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Good. Do you have other comments as a presenter for the first motion to be considered?
Barry, this is Jackie Yeoman. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Your video your video is actually not on. I'm not sure why it keeps going in and out.
Well, it appears to be a malfunction of the tablet computer that I'm using. I'll try to, and all it's getting is frozen shots, if anything at all. So
it's on now. If you sit in your chair and you speak quickly.
Yeah. Okay. The problem is that it's probably frozen on the chair now.
No, well, I can see you. I can see you.
Oh, good. Okay, good. I don't really have a lot of comments because Kathy handled most of those very well. I think one of the questions was about the plaque. There's actually 2 plaques that are attached to the stone base. And we had intended to remove those and store those in the same secured location as the sculpture itself.
I understand that we would be working, any kind of discussion that we have about where the piece will be stored will, in my mind, also include the plaques to follow that sculpture? Or will they be separate? Okay.
That was definitely the intention, is to keep them all together. And I think there was some discussion of the actual stone base. We did not have immediate plans to remove the stone base at the moment. That could be done later if the art commission or and/or city leadership decides later. I believe there was some discussion of putting some other type of monument there, but that's not part of the issue at hand.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Matthew.
Appreciate that being addressed.
Any other questions for Barry? Well, thank you for your tenacity. I really appreciate that you were able to chime in.
No, thank you for allowing me to participate. I appreciate it.
With that then, may I call the question, Lori? Anyway, I will do the roll call vote to make it more simple, I hope. Chip?
Aye.
Mary?
Aye.
Aye.
Lisa? Eliza?
Aye.
Marine?
Aye.
And I too will vote aye. Thank you very much. And I think that I would like a comment to whoever is listening that this is indeed a serious matter. And I think that we've all given a lot of thought to it. And I think our next matter will take a lot of explanation about what we do believe is a community process. So with that, Lori, do you want to bring up the additional matters on our agenda?
Yes, the second piece of the agenda involves the letter that was sent to Chair Nance from Mayor Ginther. He had several actions that he included in the letter, which included the first in the agenda. If we could pull that up again, Jackie. The first is to launch a community-driven.
I'm sorry, Lori. I will get it pulled up. I just need to get my screen back to the right setting. Please continue.
The first is to launch a community-driven process that embraces diversity to determine how to best replace the statue with public artwork that better reflects the people of Columbus and offers a shared vision of the future. The second action item in the letter was to evaluate the diversity and inclusiveness of all public art, including other monuments and statues in Columbus and the artists and other symbols associated with the city, including the seal and the flag, and to identify any areas or issues of concern. And the third matter is to determine the final disposition of the Christopher Columbus statue, working with appropriate stakeholders and leaving open the opportunity to display it elsewhere in proper context. What I did is I guess you could say I broke them out. If you have your agendas before you, commissioners, or perhaps you could scroll down, Jackie. Beneath the motion to be considered, there's a list for us to maybe tackle or address each of these items one by one, and you'll see a list of 4, starting with the evaluation of the city's art collection for diversity and inclusiveness within the context of a 21st century city. And then the second is the inclusion of the review of city symbols, including the flag and seal within the review of the collection. Third is determining the final disposition of the Christopher Columbus statue. And the fourth is how best to replace the statue with a new public artwork.
Okay.
So I'll turn this over to the chair.
Thank you, Lori. I asked for this to be in order simply to help us shape our discussion. So the first thing we need to do is hear a motion to accept the number 2, the motion to be considered, a movement and a second. Commissioners?
This is Eliza Ho. I move the motion.
And this is Marijn Vanderheiden. I second.
Thank you. Okay, so let's open it up for discussion. Do we need to do public comment? Is there anyone speaking in this second section?
Hello. Molly Wiedemann here again.
Okay, why don't we hear from you before we discuss? Would you like to finish your 2 minutes, two and a half minutes, I believe?
2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes, if this opens up for more ideas.
Yes, please do.
Okay, video on? Okay. So today I wanted to come to speak today regarding the ideas to replace the statue if and when it's, moved into storage or moved onto private property or wherever it may go. So I wanted to propose the idea for an art installation that's going to be created as a substitute and, is able to withstand weather and vandalism, etc. So those details are to be figured out later. I understand there's a desire for a community-driven process. So my suggestion was to involve, a lot of local artists. And of course, these artists would require proper compensation and credit for their creation as a collaborative effort. Because, they're all independent contractors and such. So you'd have to work with their policies. As far as contacting artists and recruiting them, I, as a citizen of Columbus, I would be happy to recruit people. I would be happy to participate in trying to talk to people and get them involved. Building interest, building commitment, however much time we're given to do this. Because Columbus, Ohio, it's got such a rich source of artists who could totally contribute. And I think it's just unequivocal that we honor the people who already live here and get their art in and credit them so that, this could be the thing that gets remembered for the next 65 years, I think it's great that the statue isn't being destroyed or decommissioned, but we have to have something that reflects Columbus in 2020 and the years to come. And that's it.
Thank you very much, Molly. I appreciate it. I'd like to open it up to the commissioners, and if you don't mind, in order. So the first thing I'd like to hear from you is about the evaluation of the city's art collection for diversity and inclusiveness. Any comments on that?
Diane, this is Mary Gray. Lori, I want to thank you for sending us the inventory last week, and I know it's up to 2008. There hasn't been discussion yet, but I'm hoping that we might have some subcommittees to help with the various pieces and parts of all of this, that the mayor